everyone. It is time for our Arkansas football report with Otis Kirk, and we're going to start things off with Rashod Dubinion, and he's a four-star running back out of Georgia. He had a ton of offers and actually chose to commit to Arkansas recently.
Yeah, I've heard people gripe in the past about, well, they got some kid, but the home state school didn't offer it. Well, Georgia and Georgia Tech both offered this kid Florida. In fact, he had 32 offers, Tara. And, he chose Arkansas. The finalists were Arkansas, Ole Miss, Georgia, Georgia Tech, Florida, Purdue, and LSU was the other one. That's the one I forget is LSU. But that was his finalist, and Arkansas won out. Jimmy Smith is the reason he's coming to Arkansas mainly. I mean, of course, Sam Pittman, and Kendall Briles, but Jimmy Smith, he's known Jimmy since the 8th grade. Jimmy won 2 state championships at Ellenwood Cedar Grove High School, and that's where Rashod goes to school. So he knows Jimmy Smith. That gave them a good inside there. Arkansas actually has 6 offers out at that school that I know about right now, counting Rashod. They have 4 in the 2022 class, 2 in the 2023 class, and I'm sure there'll be more offers along the way. But what Rashod does, he brings a lot of versatility to the team. You watch his film. The first play on his highlight film is a punt return for a touchdown. Then he plays wildcat quarterback. Then he plays tailback. He plays wide receiver. And so, versatility is his strength, and that's something that you want in a running back because it just gives you an extra dimension. It's not one of the guys that. And there's nothing wrong with this, but it's not like a big tailback like in the old days where you stand and hand the ball off to him and he runs. That's not the modern game with the spread offense and stuff. You want someone that can do it all, and Rashod can do it all. And I, for being 5'11", 180, one thing that I noticed on his film, he doesn't go down as easily as you would think. I mean, he's a pretty tough kid. He is the first tackler very seldom gets him, and I like that because it shows that he gets yards after the contact. I guess they call that yak, but but yards after contact. But yeah, he does a good job with that, especially for his size. Is what I'm saying. He's not 250-pound bruiser. But he does things that those guys couldn't do, and I really like him. And this wasn't a good pickup. This was a great pickup for Arkansas. I'm telling you because, like you said, he had 32 offers, and I mean, we're talking about legit schools.
Yeah.
I mean, they beat the 2 in-state schools to get this kid. They beat Florida. They beat LSU. They beat other schools, and so he's just he's what you need, and he's what the game nowadays kind of goes to. You see guys his size, and to me he's perfect. And when you factor him in with the running backs they've got here that'll be here when he gets here, he's got another year of high school. But you factor in AJ Green and those guys, and him and Javion Hunt and those guys, and then maybe add James Joyner or some other running back to the group. You're looking at pretty good, stable running backs. I can see where Jimmy Smith is going to have a smile on his face for a while. Yeah, Jimmy may be the happiest guy in the building. He may be jumping up and doing songs over there.
Yeah, I saw him put out a tweet after Rashod committed, and he seems pretty excited about this one.
I'm sure he is. He should be. And AJ Green's still coming in, arrived at midterm, and you got Traylon Smith. I can see where Jimmy Smith is probably
he's happy
job today.
Well, let's talk about Bryan Green. He's out of Louisiana, 2022 corner. He's gotten the offer from Sam Carter, but I read your article. It sounds like he's actually pretty good at baseball as well.
Yeah, he's got offers in baseball, Terry. He's got offers both ways. His SEC football offers are Arkansas, Auburn, and Mississippi State. Now, he's got other offers, but I mean, just the SEC offers. Those are the 3 in the SEC right now. He's 5'11", 175, plays down at Lafayette, Louisiana. Yeah, he loves Sam Carter. I mean, Sam Carter really made a good pitch to him, and talked to him. And I think Arkansas is probably going to be the favorite to get him. Now, things can change in recruiting, and, you don't know necessarily where he's at on their board or anything. But, I mean, I know Arkansas offered him. They like him and stuff. And he is very high on Sam Carter. So he's one of the kids that, honestly, I don't even know if LSU came in and offered it would make that much difference with him. Some kids it would.
Yeah.
He's got a chance to stay at home and play for Lafayette and or Louisiana, the University of Louisiana, can play both sports. So
Mhm.
he's got a lot of options there. But I think he'll go to the SEC. If not, Colorado's offered out in the Pac-12. But he's just he has a lot of speed. He's shifty, and he despite his size, he said that Coach Carter feels like he's pretty versatile. That he can play. He might even could slide down and play some safety. Although at 5'11", 175, you really think more of cornerback than you do
Yeah.
safety. But whatever. I watched his video, and one thing he does, he reads the ball very well in the air. It seems like it's almost like he's in the offensive huddle because he really knows where the ball's going. And I mean, he makes interceptions and stuff, and I really like him. I think he's a 3-star, but I think, and that's probably right considering his size and where he plays, but he was the defensive player of the year down there. And so that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
He was defensive player of the year. And as you said, he's a two-sport because he's got offers to play major college baseball if that's what he wants to do. He's a center fielder. In the story I wrote on Pig Trail Nation Hogville, you can watch it and you see a video, a left-hander, and he touched one out of the park in that video that I put on in his story down there. So yeah, he's when he comes up here. If he comes up here, he's the type of kid that you never know. He might eventually try out for baseball up here.
Maybe Dave Van Horn will give him a look.
Well, and you can do that. I know with a quarterback, it's extremely hard to do that. But with a defensive back or something, you can do that. You can make that double. So, and I don't know. I forgot to ask him if that was something he's interested in but it's something I will. If he does come here, it's something I will ask him about because. But he does have some, like I said, Louisiana and maybe some others where Grambling, some of them where he could play both sports if he wanted to do that.
Okay. Well, let's talk about Chris Mcclellan next. Out of Owasso, defensive lineman, 3-star, had a virtual visit with the Razorbacks pretty recently.
Yeah, and he played at Tulsa Edison as a sophomore and junior. And one thing about him that I found interesting, he went to camp at Tulsa where Coach Ashley was.
Okay.
So he was a very good source and he's been to Arkansas, but he was a very good source on Coach Ashley and the fact that he said that he really likes him. He thinks Coach Ashley will do great here because he said, that's a big step up from Tulsa to come to the SEC in Arkansas. And he thinks he'll get elite talent here at Arkansas. And he's very impressed with him. And he likes the distance from home, obviously. Owasso, Tulsa, Edison, Tulsa, that area, it's probably an hour and 45 minutes, hour and a half. If you drive like me, probably an hour and 10 minutes. But no, seriously, it's probably an hour and a half, hour and 45, 2 hours, whatever it is. But no, I mean, he did a virtual visit. Arkansas offered him. He likes Coach Odom, and he likes Coach Ashley. And, Arkansas did well in Oklahoma last year, Tara. If you remember, I think they signed 6 kids, I believe it was, or maybe 7. I think it was 6.
Yeah.
And they signed 6. And so you've got Sam, you've got Barry, you've got some ties to that state. And now Coach Ashley. Right. So you've got some ties to that state. And I think they've got some natural attraction from the kids over there to come to Arkansas, especially when those kids look. And he mentioned this. He looks at the 6 kids coming over here, and you think, hey, it was good enough for them. Hey, I need to look at this because you got one kid coming from Oklahoma. That's one thing, but when 6 do, especially a kid like AJ Green, who Chris knows well, I mean, and then you got the kid at Booker T, I mean, so you got that Tulsa area is. It's just a natural recruiting area. Yeah. Owasso, Tulsa Union, Jinx, Broken Arrow, all those schools right there. That is just a natural recruiting area because those schools that I named have Booker T. Washington and all those schools. They have talent every year. Keon Parker from Booker T's coming over here. And so it's so close to Arkansas. And one thing that the kids tell me, and Chris said this too, Tara, was the fact it's close enough to home that if something happens, you can go back home. But yet, far enough away, you're not right there where your parents are right there on your, checking on you to see if you're doing your homework or whatever.
That's exactly what I was thinking, honestly.
But yeah, if you need to go back, it doesn't. You don't have to fly 10 hours to get back home. Perfect. Right. Really, it's kind of a perfect scenario for distance.
And lastly, I know there's 3 linebackers that you want to talk about. So we're just going to group those guys together. Break it down for us.
Yeah, let's start with Jordan Crook. He's from Duncanville. This is a kid that really, I'm going to say the same thing about him I said about Bryan Green. If you watch his video, it almost looks like Jordan is in the huddle with the offense. When they come out, he knows what the play's going to be. He can really read. He reads the offense real well, and I like his eyes. He does a great job at linebacker. I watched his video, and I didn't watch all of it, but I probably watched 3 or 4 minutes into it. I don't know, Tara, but I watched deep into his video. I never saw him miss a tackle. The first time he wrapped up on it,
Wow.
and I'm talking about out in space too. I'm
Yeah.
not talking about game tackling where, where he had 3 or 4 teammates helping him. I'm talking about in space. I didn't see him miss a single tackle out in space. It was one-on-one, he won every battle that I saw. Now I know those are highlight tapes and they're not going to put on tape. Don't, but I get that. But no, this kid can play. Jordan Crook he's going to do a virtual visit with Arkansas. It'll be 2 weeks. It's the 27th, I believe, is a Saturday. They're calling that a virtual junior day. It's what Arkansas is calling it. And that's when he's going to do one with Arkansas. He's already set the thing up. Kip Lewis is from Carthage, and he similar things I could say about him. I mean, and Kip's a 3-star, and I don't understand that because he's got offers Texas A&M, Oklahoma. He's got every USC. I mean, all the major colleges are in on him. And I think once this COVID is lifted, and these kids, if they get to go to camp or combines and show what they can do, Kip's going to be a 4-star because I mean if he's not a 4-star, there's no such thing. He's obviously they have not lost a game. I think I put it in my story, but it's been 2018. The last time that team lost a game was in 2018. They went undefeated in 2019 when Tykees Crawford was a senior. Yeah. Then they went undefeated this year. So they have not, and I think they only lost one game in 2018.
Wow.
I had that in my story. I'm doing this off of memory, but I believe they only lost one game in 2018. But I know they lost one there, and that's the last time this team lost. So this kid's a winner. And he doesn't like Tykees old-time country music either, Don't listen to that, he said. So, but and I always tease Tykees about that. He's fine what he likes. I'm just joking with Tykees. But no, Kip is outstanding linebacker. And then the last was Caden Henley here. And by the way, Crook and Lewis have offers to Arkansas, as well as many other schools. The last one is Caden Henley, and he has no offers right now. And I'm going to say the same thing about him that I don't understand because I know there's a question about his speed, but let me tell you, Grant Morgan, I heard the same things about him coming out of high school, heard the same things about Grant entering last season. And all he did was go out there and lead everybody in tackles and become an All-America. Yeah. And I'm telling you, I'm not saying every kid, and I don't like those comparisons when people do what I'm doing right now. Like, he's the next Sidney Moncrief, the next Darren McFadden. No, I'm telling you, I mean, Caden Henley so reminds me of Grant Morgan. Now, Grant has a work ethic that is second to none, and I'm not saying I'm sure Caden does too, but that's one thing that helped Grant. But I'm telling you, Caden can play at this level. He helped Shiloh go undefeated. He makes plays all over the field. He goes on offense. He catches balls. He blocks. He knocks them down. He's just a heck of a footballer. Sometimes you have to throw out all the he's 6'2", 227. But sometimes you have to throw out the combine stuff and recruit a football player. And that's what Caden Henley is. He's a football player.
Yeah. That's all great information, Otis. Thanks so much for your time. I know you've written a lot of articles on all of these guys. So if anyone wants to learn any more about them, just head to our website and you can check them all out. But that's going to do it for our
video too.
Oh, and the videos.
Video and all the stories too of all the kids, so you can watch the video for yourself, draw your own opinion.
Yeah, and check out some more highlights from these guys. That's going to do it though for our football report. Otis, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Tara. Thank you. Have a good day. Be safe.
You too.